I'm John Dennen. Welcome to Amateur Hour. Today, boxing news is at Alexandra Palace for the Haringey Box Cup. The Box Cup is one of the events of the amateur boxing year. About 400 boxers enter, with the action going on simultaneously in 3 rings. It's in its 6th year now, novice through to elite. It's seen 3 Olympic gold medalists, Anthony Joshua, Katie Taylor, Nicola Adams, early stages of their career in the Great Hall. And who knows which stars of the future we're going to see today. Dan O'Sullivan, could I ask a bit about the role you play in the Haringey Box Cup?
Yeah, I've since its conception, I've been the Master of Ceremonies for all the rings. Generally, it's 3 rings. We've got 3 rings here this weekend for the Box Cup 2013. Initially, we had 4 rings, and we have once used 4 rings, but generally, I MC all 3 rings, announcing the boxers, the results, and then obviously the medal ceremony at the end on Sunday.
And how hard is it emceeing 3 rings at the same time?
It's busy, that's the only thing, it's a lot busier, but the reality is, I often get asked this question, you could only ever have one MC talking at any one time, so only one MC can be heard. So having an extra MC or more MCs is a bit pointless. It just means I'm a little bit busy rushing from ring to ring, but it keeps me busy. I enjoy the boxing, I get to watch a bit, and there's often plenty of bouts I want to see, but there isn't too many breaks. Very rarely do we have to wait more than a minute for me to announce the boxers on one ring and then perhaps the result of another ring. But works really well, better than I ever expected it to, and it was never my idea.
And of course, you emceed the Olympic Games themselves. How is it? How's the step back to normal amateur boxing after that?
Well, I must say that I honestly believe part of the reason I got the Olympics, one of the reasons was because I was very lucky. The second reason, I think, was because I sent in DVDs of me performing my duties as Master of Ceremony here at the Box Cup, and that was part of my assessment to get the job as the Olympic MC alongside Bob Smith. And I absolutely believe that my work here at the Box Cup was part of the reason I got the job. It really did, make it so much easier, having worked in such a sort of pressure pot, having to do so much, and I think they were impressed with the fact that I could multitask as well. So.
And obviously you and Bob do all the club shows around the country itself. How special was it getting that, that big London 2012 gig?
I don't mind admitting to you, that was my proudest moment in boxing. I wasn't a great boxer myself. I boxed at a reasonable level, sort of local club level, was never any kind of national champion, but I do love my boxing. And as you well know, I run my own boxing club, Dagenham. So I've been involved for a long time. And there you go. It might be another reason I got the job, because of my time I've spent as a volunteer in coaching, and helping to run the sport on a regional, divisional and national level. But very, very proud to have done the Olympics, especially our home Olympics. But who knows, Rio 2016, I'm up for it.
You mentioned Dagenham. How are things going at your club at the moment?
Yeah, we've got a steady stream of boxers coming along. We didn't get that national champion this year, unfortunately, but George Landers got to his second national schoolboy semi-final this year. And we've had a young man who's originally from Angola boxing in the All-African Championships in the last few weeks, and he got through to the semi-finals, which could secure him a place in the national African team, and a possible route into the Olympics other than via GB. So we've got a really good developing junior squad, fantastic base of coaches and volunteers, and I think the future's quite bright for us at the moment.
How important a role would you say the club plays in its community?
Absolutely. As a police officer, I can see the value of the club in terms of keeping kids out of trouble, giving them something positive to do, fitness. We've got sport there, and I genuinely believe in education through sport. There's some kids who just don't like sitting in a classroom, and they're better placed in a boxing club with learning mentors and special guidance, which can hopefully keep them out of trouble and give them a chance later in life when they mature, settle down, and do move on to another career. I'm an absolute believer in grassroots boxing. I've been a member of the national governing body for periods, and I believe we should be getting a much bigger portion of the funding which comes into amateur boxing. I do think far too much of it is geared towards elite level boxing, but I understand that a lot of that is via commercial investment. So it would be nice to see a lot more of that whole sport funding plan filter down to clubs, grassroots. But the sport itself, amateur boxing's changing. There's been lots of politics going on recently with the departure of the chairman, and obviously the same with Baba. But there's some really great people in boxing who really do mean well. I genuinely think the big problem come about in amateur boxing when it became a limited company, and there were a number of now limited employees, and you're mixing limited company employees with volunteers, and I think that sets a little bit of a taste in some people's throats around who does most for the sport. Because let's face it, without the clubs, those elite boxers wouldn't be boxing in the Olympics. They start somewhere. All of those elite boxers start in a club, and I think there should be certainly more correlation between the club and the elite performing programme, which has been brilliant, really successful, but it has had a massive funding increase as well.
So could I ask a bit about sort of everything you've had to do to organise this event and keep it going into its 6th year?
Yeah, the difficulty is we're in the 6th year of this event, but as you know, money is tight everywhere. They stopped our funding from the police. I'm in the police, and local council, Haringey Council, which was difficult because then I had to go out and try and get private sponsorship, private funding. I mean, this event's put on costs in the region of £50,000. So, when you're trying to find the sort of sums we're talking about, when the money isn't out there, it's hard. We've managed to scrape it again this year. I won't stop trying to do it, and I'll keep trying to put it through and put it on.
And it's an important event for grassroots, for young boxers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's heartbreaking really, because there should be tournaments like this every month up and down the country, because how do you nurture your young talent that you want to become the Nicky Adams, the Anthony Joshua, those sort of boxers that go through and perform to the levels they have, if the elite boxers and the better boxers don't get these sort of bouts and this sort of competition?
Could I ask a bit about the Friday evening session and what's the work done around there with the community?
Right, the Friday event we started because obviously we're not allowed to box for the whole 4 days, we have to have a break. So we thought up the Youth London Day, where we bring in all the kids from all over London, from the different schools across the 32 boroughs, and we're just trying to break down, the postcode, knife crime, all that sort of stuff, get them into one place. We give them a free packed lunch. We have the Army here, we have the Navy here, Saracens, all my police colleagues from the TSG, traffic, we have the dog section, we have the... my mind's gone completely blank. We have the fire brigade I was trying to think of with their fire engine. And we have a bit of junior boxing on. You know, and it's just about a bit of cohesion. It's about saying to these kids, there is something different. Come here, come and see what we do, and let's present what we are as Haringey, because Haringey doesn't always get the best name, but we can put on something like this. I don't know any other borough that's doing this.
And what kind of a role does Haringey, the club, play in the community, sort of, you know, day in, day out throughout the year?
We play a large role. We're very fortunate that we do have some very, very kind sponsors who support us massively. We're able to go out and do work out in the community. We're able to invite anyone into our club. We don't turn anyone away, whether they've got money or not. That's not what we're about. We're about community basis. We're about them coming in off the street and saying to the kids and the youths, we're a better gang than them out there. And if you can do that and you can start embracing with them, it does change what happens.
What would you say is special about the Box Cup? Is it having sort of everyone from novice to elite boxers all in one massive tournament in one amazing venue?
Well, what I would say to you is, what's special about it? I doubt if you've been to something like this, and I know most people haven't. It's about all the kids from grassroots all the way through. We've got every level here. We've got every kid you can think of right up to the elite, all in the same place, all cheering each other on. You've seen the camaraderie. We've got countries from all over Europe here, and everyone supports a single thing about embracing boxing and being together.
And having it in Alexandra Palace adds something as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we always said we're Haringey, so we've got to have it in Haringey. And there's nowhere else in Haringey that can support this. This venue is iconic. It does cost a lot of money, but we need a big venue, and people go away remembering where they've been. And do you know what? When we opened up the entries, we had to close it in a fortnight. That tells you enough. People want to be here. They want to be part of it. We've just got to find the money to put it on.
Yeah, I mean, how hard is it going to be to keep it running next year as well?
I never promise next year, because I can't at the moment. We're in a period where the money just isn't there when you go out looking for it. So all I would say is I will do my utmost to make sure it's on next year, as I have done each year, and that's the only promise I can make at the moment.
And those kind of problems, does that also affect grassroots clubs as well?
Of course. Everyone's struggling. You know, I'm not different to any other club out there. We're all in the same position, but we've all got to stick together. We've all got to try and get through this, and we've all got to keep doing what the youth want, because if we don't, it's just going to die, and then there's going to be nothing. And then you're going to see the disorder we had on the streets 2 years ago regularly happening, and things like that we just don't want.
You didn't get to defend your ABA title this year. How disappointing was that, and has the season overall been a bit disappointing for you?
Yeah, it was absolutely gutting when I lost the decision. I mean, I had loads left in the tank, but on the day I was I just felt I had the bout in the bag. I felt like I was really sharp on the night when I was boxing in the ABA quarters, but I just took the foot off the pedal because I thought I had it in the bag, and then the decision went against me, which I thought was wrong. But that's how you go. But I've come back I've had a good win since, and then I'm come back here to rectify that.
Who was it you boxed in the quarter final?
It's Declan Fusco from South Durham.
Oh, yeah. What did you make of him as a boxer?
He's very skillful boxer, but I thought I had too much for him on the night. But like I say, I took the foot off the pedal. I was hardly even sweating after the bout. But that's how it goes sometimes. A bit of arrogance on my part, which I've learned from now, and I've trained very, very hard for this, and hopefully go on to win this now.
And you beat this year's champion in the final last year. How do you feel about how Greg Burdette's come on as a boxer?
Well, I'm not sure if I've sparred him a couple of times since the final, and I still think if I boxed him now, I'd have too much for him. But I think he has come on. He's up at GB now, so he'll be obviously improving a lot up there. But I still think I'll have him. I still think I'll have him, definitely.
And how desperate are you to get on the GB program yourself?
I'm really desperate. I mean, I had my assessment last year, but I was hampered by back problems and all that, and things where I couldn't really run, so my fitness wasn't great, and it just wasn't. I just didn't have much luck. I was getting colds every other time I was up there. But since then, I've been to numerous physios. I've finally got myself sorted. I'm out running like every day before work, so I'm in the best shape of my life right now. So hopefully I'll get another assessment and get on there.
And how important is this tournament, the Haringey Box Cup, to you?
It's very important, especially with the disappointment of the ABAs this year. I've come here to show that I'm still here, and I'm not I'm not going downhill yet.
And who in your weight class are you looking out for at this competition?
Well, you've got two really good lads there. There's a Swedish lad, Gabriel Richards, that beat me in February when I boxed for England. He beat me on a majority decision. But I think the amount of training I put in now, I think I could beat him this time. And there's a Ukrainian from Berkeley. He's had 210 fights. He's won 180 odd of them. I've sparred him, and I know what it takes to beat him. So that's it. I'm not sure who the lad I've got first is. He's either moved up or down a weight. So I'm not really too bothered who I box. I just make sure I go in there and perform.
And you're still a two-weight ABA champion, so you want to remind people of that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like I say, I was so confident winning them this year, the ABAs, and then the disappointment going out in the quarters, and I only had myself to blame, really.
Islington normally has a very big team, but you've been hit by a few problems for this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, originally we had 10 down the box. We're down to the bare bones. We're down to 4 boxers. Still good boxers. We've lost some of our key elite boxers. Aaron Morgan's gone down with a bug. So is Jermaine Kelly. James Woodward's also out. He's now retired, actually, from the game. It was going to be his last season, so he's retired now. Rishi Shigori came out yesterday injured, and we lost our big heavyweight as well. So it's been a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you.
Sad to hear that James Woodward's retired, because he's a quality boxer. Won it last year. Had a cracking bout in the ABAs this year. Can you say a bit about his highlights?
Yeah, I mean, James obviously came to us from Leeds University, where he was British and English University champion, and he's done really well for us. I mean, this season he's ended up as number 8 in the country. He fought Martin Stead this season, he fought Sam Bowen, he's fought some top names, and he's done really well against them. Unfortunately, he's just qualified as a social worker, and that's with his associated problems. He couldn't train as much, the weight was creeping up, and he just figured that actually this is a high point in his career, and a good point to kind of sign off with. So we'll miss him, but it's a real shame. He was a really good lad.
And you mentioned some of the other sort of stars you got at Islington. Who should we be looking out for?
In this box cup, Ali Zani, under 64 A class, southpaw, very tricky. Boxes a little bit like Nassim Hamed. Right. You'll see it yourself, very unorthodox. Sharif Musa, knockout specialist. We call him the Sandman because he puts everyone to sleep. He's got a guy from Double Jab who he beat 2 weeks ago, so that should be a cracker again. Got female ABA champion Cheryl Brown in a straight final. So again. And Jeff Afori, who's won his last 5 bouts at welterweight, again another one to watch out for. So all in all, the 4 we've got in, I'm quite hopeful of getting some medals.
So Islington, it's such a busy club. You're always out at shows. How do you manage? How do you manage to do it?
It really is a team effort. All the coaches, I mean, the time they give up, family people. This season alone, we've had 259 bouts as a club, which is a phenomenal amount of bouts. We've been to South Africa, Cyprus, Sweden, Denmark. It's crazy. I think almost every weekend we've got at least 2 boxers out at a show somewhere up and down the country. But it's credit to all the boxers' commitment and all the coaches at the club that we can pull this together, and week after week. In fact, we all need a rest after the Haringey, I think. I mean,
how important is the Haringey Box Cup, in the season?
It's a really prestigious tournament. I mean, I can't imagine a time when we won't enter boxers in it. It's unfortunate the number we've entered this season. 7 years ago, we had 1 boxer, Carlos Mourinho, in the very first year. Since then, we've come in with at least 5 boxers every season. We look forward to it. It's there's quality of boxers. It's great watching the boxing from other clubs as well, and the atmosphere is second to none.
And the club itself, I mean, how many boxers do you have coming in through the door to training? How are things going in terms of participation numbers?
Well, this season we've ended up with 70 carded boxers, junior and senior, and we've got another 10-15 to card next season. Obviously, towards the end of the season, it's kind of tailed off because people kind of wind down. Comes to May and they kind of disappear, but. Business-wise, it's been phenomenal. Start of the season, we're getting 40-50 boxers in one training session. It was phenomenal. We've also got an academy for the beginners, and we're packing that out with 30 boxers every week, a junior academy with 25 boxers. So we've got some really good youngsters coming through. obviously we just need to make sure that we keep developing the new ones so we can have a good set of boxers coming up behind them, really.
What do you make of the state of amateur boxing at the moment? It sounds like things are buzzing, certainly from Islington's point of view.
It is. I think female boxing is definitely kicked off, mainly because of what Nicola Adams has done in the Olympics. But boxing is a sport where there's peaks and troughs. I mean, when I was boxing, we had a peak and then it kind of just tailed off. At the moment, we want to try and engage as many youngsters to box as possible. And I think boxing in schools is one area that's actually helped that, because you get a lot of youngsters from local schools which are coming into the club. Their brothers and sisters box for the club. They also want to box, so it really does help.
How did you make the transition yourself from boxer to becoming a coach?
In actual fact, I kind of fell into it by chance. I used to box for Islington, then I boxed at St Pancras and St Monica's, and actually came down to the gym just to say hi, and they said, why don't you come and give us a helping hand? So I've been there for 9 years now. Absolutely love it. Love working with young boxers. Love taking a raw beginner who's never boxed, doesn't know how to jab, developing them and helping them to achieve whatever their goals are. It's second to none, and just seeing them become real, fantastic young men and women.
Well, Bevis, thank you very much for your time and best of luck today. Just tell me a bit about the season you've had so far. I know you've won a few tournaments. Can you tell me a bit about the tournaments you've been in?
I won the NABCs early in October. That was my first one. Then I won the Junior ABAs, and then recently I just won the Three Nations. Now this is my fourth one, Haringey Cup.
So who did you box in the Three Nations?
I boxed a Scottish kid called Stephen Boyle.
What was he like as a fighter?
It was meant to be good. He won a silver medal in some competition abroad, and I beat him easy, 23-11.
And have you boxed in the Haringey Box Cup before?
No, it was my birthday today, so I just entered.
It's his first time here, and Muhammad Ali's, he's progressing slowly and up and doing very well. Alhamdulillah, so good. So
And you're called Muhammad Ali, so you must get quite a bit of attention when you enter tournaments.
Yeah, I do.
But it doesn't bother you.
No.
But he's doing great so far, isn't he? So that's it. That's the one.
Well, in general, what do you want to achieve in boxing? What are your goals?
I want to go into the Olympics, represent GB in it, and maybe win a world title one day. 10 pro.
Thanks very much. 5-time ABA champion, right? How important is the Haringey Box Cup to you?
I have to win it because I've won all my ABAs, so I can't afford to lose anything really.
And it's quite hard getting bouts for you, isn't it?
Most of the girls pull out. Like this morning, a couple of girls pulled out on the scales. They weighed in fine, their weight was fine, and they pulled out. But the reason is they're injured. But I believe if you was injured, you wouldn't have turned up in the first place.
Right. And is there anyone who who's in your division who you're looking out for at this competition?
In the final, I've got the Scottish champion, and then in the semis, I have someone from Chadwell.
So when was the last time you boxed? Because you must have been out of the ring for quite a while.
8 months in the Europeans last year.
Right, so is it going to be quite difficult, sort of shedding the ring rust, or are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it because I've done all my training, done all my sparring, prepared for it. So let's just see what happens.
And after the Box Cup, do you have anything else coming up? Are there any other internationals?
I'm going to call out a couple of the GB girls to box, to see if they'd box me this year. They wouldn't box me last year, so.
But have you been up to GB and got any sparring there?
I went up GB just for the training for the Europeans and things like that, and sparred a couple of them. And that's about it really. And I sparred them at European trials for this year, and that's all they've offered really.
What did you make of the GB setup, all the rings?
It's a brilliant setup. I do want to be in the GB. I want to box for GB. I want to box for my country, but I just need them to give me the chance and opportunity.
What are your sort of ambitions overall in the sport? Like what do you want to achieve?
I want to be able to box for my country and hopefully go to the Olympics. I love amateur. I love being an amateur. I just want to do everyone proud.
And watching the Olympics last year, I mean, how inspirational was that whole event?
It's brilliant. I was there in the Olympics carrying the flags. I've done Katie Taylor's final. I've done all the men's as well. It was a good experience. It just made me realise that I want it even more.
And obviously, I mean, you must have watched Katie Taylor a lot. So what was it like sort of walking her out into the Olympic ring?
It was brilliant. After the first round, she was losing, believe it or not, and then she got it back. She seemed really nervous. I think the nerves got the better of her to start off with, but then she pulled the fight back.
What did you make of just how loud it was when she was on?
It seemed that the girls had more cheering than the men. The atmosphere was better for the ladies than the men.
Did you ever expect to see something like that?
No, because loads of people were against girls boxing, and then obviously they've changed their mind.
I mean, have you ever found anyone sort of opposed to you taking up boxing or getting involved in it?
Not really. Everyone sort of keeps their opinions to themselves. So that's it really.
You must be hoping Rio 2016 or wherever it is in 2020 is the same atmosphere as London 2012.
Hopefully, I get to the next Olympics and hopefully you stay amateur and turn to the one after. Hopefully.
Well, thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your win today. How pleased are you with that medal?
Very pleased. Always good to come and do. And that was always the plan, to come and get a gold. We planned to have 3 bouts, to travel down to London, have the 3 bouts. It ended up just being 2, but I'm happy I got a stoppage in the second round, and the second bout, I put him down. He said it was a low blow. I thought the sniper must have got him low. He admitted after the bout. Lovely lad though, Dan Aziz. Full respect to him. But yeah, we got the result. We got the gold. I actually came originally. The only reason I signed up is after the disappointment I had in the ABAs against Mr. Crotty, yeah. I had a chest infection in that, but obviously it's the ABA final. I'm going in and I'm going to win. Full respect to him, he did well, but I did feel that if I'd been 100%, there's no way that he could have beat me. So for redemption, I thought this is the place where he's going to be. Unfortunately, he wasn't, but we got the result. So happy days.
I mean, how pleased were you with your performance today?
Today, I definitely feel that I could have done better, but I got the W, which I can't complain at all. Got the gold. That's what matters today. But it could have been better. Always room for improvement. It's about constant progression. You know, I feel like I'm still learning every day, every bout, and so it was well worth coming down for the 2 bouts, for the experience of it all. You know, I enjoyed it. It's all good.
And the stoppage on Saturday, what happened there?
Oh, it was nice. He was just, you know, people have this conception of me that he's actually a banger, and I struggle to get sparring. But I'm actually, you know, I'm more of a boxer than a banger. Like, I literally go in and box, and if I'm landing consistently, then I'm blessed I can stop him. But I go out there to box and land shots, and if that's happening, then sometimes they do get out of there. But yeah, basically the stoppage, I was just landing. I was just landing cleanly, and the referee gave him 3 standing 8s. I think that was the best option for him to get out of there, because there was no other way really it was going. You could see that, you know, the punches were hurting him, and so you don't want to hurt your opponents really, but you know, it's dog eat dog in there. It's a hard game.
You stopped a few in the ABAs this year, so you must have some power.
Yeah, to be honest, I should be 75 kg. Through the ABAs, I was 77 at one. I woke up one morning, literally, stood on the scales. I looked and it said 77 kg. I thought, geez, I better eat up. Literally, ate 7 meals that day just to bulk up. Not so much for the weight, but well, obviously for the weight, but not for myself. I feel strong at 77 to mix it with the 81 guys. But I just thought I don't want to give them any mental prowess over me, you know, thinking, oh, he's only light. But I could definitely do 75 if I tried to. But on the days of my fights, I can eat a nice big breakfast, go in, you know, instead of having to starve myself. So I feel blessed at that. However, if I was to step up a level, you know, GB or international, then obviously I could get down to 75 if that was required of me. But at the moment, I'm just loving my boxing. I've got a great coach in Martin Bateson. He's brought me on leaps and bounds, and I'm just learning every day, feeling good.
And boxing runs in your family, is that right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Bobby Vanzi, obviously, he's my older brother. He did very well. I thought he could have done better, to be honest. And so it's about having a good management team, good people around you, and that's what I'm trying to have before, you know, even thinking about turning pro. Really, it's about having a good team, and I'm blessed that I've got Martin Bateson, who's here. Do you want to come in? So yeah, fantastic coach. Couldn't have done it without him. He really is dedicated. He comes to my house at 9 o'clock at night. I don't want to train at those times, but he's knocking on my door saying, giving me. He's not even knocking on the door. He walks in my house and makes sure I'm training. You know, it's amazing to have a good, positive person like this around me. And I've got a good team at the moment. I'm feeling good and blessed, and you know, he's really helped me come through the ranks. And the ABAs
he's a good lad as well. He's a good guy to coach as well. He's very good. I put plenty of time into him because he's worth it, and I believe he can do something. He can go somewhere, this kid.
Obviously, after the disappointment of the ABAs, we just came here to just to show that we can win things. You know, I don't want to be known as a nearly man, and it was just a shame about the ABAs, but onwards and upwards, and we're feeling positive about the future.
I mean, and what are your ambitions in the sport? Is it GB or going pro?
It would be amazing to box for my country. That you know, to wear that England vest on my back would be an amazing feeling, and you know, I'd do it with such pride, and I really feel that I can be that standard, and you know, the sparring, being in that sort of place, you know, getting the good sparring with the top boys in the country will only help me progress further. All through the ABAs we had very limited sparring, but we did okay still. But you know, so it's just progression. It's about constant progression, and if I'm sparring with those top boys every day, I know that I'll just get better and better.
Do you think getting down to 75 could be sort of the key thing to sort of making that next leap up to international boxing?
I feel that I'm blessed in that I'm strong enough to mix it with these 81 guys. You know, my stoppage record does show that. However, you know, you need to take every advantage that you can have, and I can be 75. They're all taller than me every time, and if I haven't boxed for a while, I'm like, oh, this guy's so tall, and then I remember, no, actually, they're all tall. So yeah, it's I think it would help to be 75, but you know, at the moment I'm happy to eat. I mean, I eat well, but I eat as much as I like, and so I'm happy for the moment. But if someone was to say to me, then you need to get down to move to the next level, I'll happily do that, whatever it takes to get to where I want to be.
Yeah, there's many a time where you'll get an amateur boxer box at a higher level in weight categories, and then when they go pro, they tend to drop a level because it's harder, it's longer training, it's full time, you know. And I think this is doing them the world of good boxing at this weight category because he's such a strong kid, can hold his own, if not better, the bigger, stronger lads. And I think when he drops down, you'll see a big difference. You'll see a more powerful athlete that can really do the business. I believe in that.
Asher Manzi, congratulations and thanks very much.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Cheers, pal.
Я был в сборной команде Украины.
He was in the Ukrainian team.
Почему оттуда уехал? Потому что были разногласия с судьями.
He left Ukraine because
с тренерами.
yeah, he didn't find common points with his trainer and.
Мне здесь нравится, я чувствую, меня любят. Мне нравится, им нравится то, что делаю я.
Yeah, because people here likes what he does.
Okay. Yeah.
But how tough was it, and how high was the standard on the Ukrainian boxing team?
Как вообще, как было тяжело, и какой у тебя был уровень на Украине? Как тяжело было?
Я был вторым номером super heavyweight.
He was
number two.
Number two in super heavyweight.
In Ukrainian team.
In Ukrainian team.
Yeah.
In Ukrainian team. Как это вообще было? Тяжело это было?
Конечно, любой вид спорта тяжелый.
Every sport is tough, mate. Every sport is tough. You can't say it. It would be easy.
Эта победа, эта золотая медаль далась мне нелегко.
And this gold medal.
Каждый день упорные тренировки.
It's not easy to get it. It was every day hard training.
Мне помог мой тренер Бертли, мой
his trainer was helping him. Graham, the Bertley. And just a training every day. Yeah, exactly. Just a training every day. It's not just like that. You just come here and get a medal. It's not like that. It's just hard training all the time.
And why did you come to England and Bertley Boxing Club?
Говорит, почему пришел, в принципе, в Англию и в Bertley Boxing Club?
Так сложились обстоятельства.
The circumstances comes like that.
Я приехал просто себя попробовать.
He just came in UK to try himself, and then it's turned out.
И потом оно все так по нарастающей пошло.
And then it's turned out he likes to be here.
В Украине много не заработаешь. Ну, то есть у меня есть там любимая девушка, семья, которой я хочу помочь. А в Украине невозможно прокормить или там заработать деньги.
I mean, he couldn't get as much experience in Ukraine, and he couldn't achieve his goals in Ukraine as he can do it here.
And how tough was this tournament, particularly Simon Barkley, who you boxed yesterday?
Как было вообще тяжело на этом турнире, и особенно Саймон Баркли. Как было с ним сражаться? Как ты оцениваешь?
Ну, каждый бой тяжелый по-своему.
Every fight is hard by itself.
Yeah. And первый бой, как мне показался, тяжелее. Да и второй был Саймон Баркли, very good fighter. Because I don't know, I respect all guys. Yeah.
He respects everyone. But he fought maybe first fight was a bit.
Не скажу, что легко достались победы.
Easy. He could say it wasn't easy at all.
Мне еще нужно много работать.
He said he gotta work a lot. He gotta work much more.
И хочу
and do more things that he do now.
Попасть в сборную команду.
Это они не спрашивают.
Так ты, ну ладно.
Did you enjoy this tournament and this event?
Понравилось вообще здесь?
Yeah, very good, very beautiful. Yeah, мне нравится.
And what do you want to?
Мне нравится то, что людям нравится бокс. Они тут живут этим. В моей стране не так.
He likes the thing that the people around like boxing a lot. Yeah. And back home it's a bit different.
And finally, what do you want to achieve in the sport? What do you want to achieve in boxing?
Вот чего ты хочешь добиться в спорте, в боксе?
Gold medal Olympico Rio.
Okay.
Yeah, 91.
91.
Maybe super heavyweight. Yeah. I don't know.
Boxing for the Ukraine or?
Боксируешь за Украину или?
No, England.
Box for England.
Yeah.
Okay.
У меня плохие тренера моего неплохие отношения просто с тренерским коллективом. У моего тренера плохие отношения.
I mean, he's saying his trainer got a bit of a problem with other people in Ukraine, so that's why it's better to be here.
И я сюда приехал, потому что я вот здесь сам и хочу показать, на что я способен.
And he came here because he by himself here. He just want to show what he can do. Exactly him, just him.
So would you like to enter the English National Championships next year in 2014?
Национальный английский чемпионат в следующем, в 2014 году. Тоже хотел принимать
участие. Yeah. Of course. I'm ready. Я хочу, да, хочу. I want. I won, and I won a gold medal, national championship. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Well, excellent. Thank you very much. Well, there you have it, an amazing day at Alexandra Palace for the Haringey Box Cup. Huge tournament, hundreds of boxers from the very novice level all the way through to the elite class. Where else in the world do you get grassroots clubs mixed with the Olympic champions of the future? Thank you very much.